Go.
This is Jasmin Cain and I'm doing my sheaf knife tool talk. So this is our sheaf knife. On our sheaf knife we have got our handle at the top and we've got the sheaf covering, which is the blue part. When I want to take the sheaf knife out, I pull from the blade, top part of the knife, and it releases the blade. Here we have got our cutting edge at the bottom and our length of our blade. Whenever I'm not using the sheaf knife, it goes back into the cover until you hear a clicking sound, and that makes sure that it's secure and it won't pop out unless pulled out by someone. When I'm walking with the sheaf knife, it goes pointing down and I hold it like this, and if I'm walking, I also hold it with it facing down. Whenever I need to pass the sheaf knife to someone, I will turn the blade and I'll offer the handle to them so that they can take the handle of the knife. When we're using a sheaf knife, first of all, we need to make sure that we are away from everyone, and that is an arm's length and a tool width away. So making sure that you're not in the blood bubble, so moving around to make sure no one is within that space. When we're using the sheaf knife, we're using it to do whistling or to cut string. But when we're whistling, we need to make sure that our legs are away from the knife. This is to be done in a sitting position with a gloved hand on your non-tool hand, and you rotate your hips and your knees so that away, and the whistling goes away from your legs. This makes sure that it's safe and it won't contact your thighs if the knife was to slip. Whenever you're finished with the sheaf knife, it must go back into the cover and then be returned to the designated space. When I'm at forest schools, this is a toolbox. When you've done completely with the session, we then return it to the locked cabinet in the forest school shed back at site. If at any point the sheaf knife needs to go on the ground, for example halfway through making something, it goes back into its sheath and it gets placed on the ground so that the handle is facing forwards and the blade is facing in, like so. Once done, it then again gets returned to the designated tools area into the locked toolbox and gets returned to the shed at the end of the session.